Today we're going to be talking about the 3 things that I wish I knew as an apprentice electrician. Now, the first 2 things are going to be things that I learned along the way, and the last thing is going to be something that I see now as someone who has apprentices under me. Now, there are about 1,000 things you really need to know about being an electrician, but these 3 I think are going to be things that can really help you, especially if you haven't started yet. Number 1 is that you need to meet the expectations of whoever you are working for. For instance, being on time, right? To me, all my life, being on time meant that you were just like at the building at 7 o'clock. However, the first contractor that I worked for, their expectation was for you to be all the way through these checkpoints, right? So you had to go check in at the front desk. From there, you had to drive around back. You had to go all the way, get all your tools set up, get everything on your cart, and get your cart into the facility and be at the place that you're working at 7. So that really meant getting there at about 6:40. Now, to me, didn't make any sense. It wasn't fair. However, the people that I was working for realized that the customer was paying, and so that customer expected to see people there at 7 o'clock working, not checking in at 7 o'clock and getting in to the back all the way, not starting and not being on your tools until 7:30 or 7:40. So that's an expectation, and it didn't seem reasonable to me at the time, and I didn't understand. However, they were paying me. That was a paycheck that I was receiving, and so I needed to meet those expectations. So if you're expected to be at the gang box at 7, be at the gang box by 7, and if not, be at the gang box or be on your tools at 7. Wherever that expectation is set, you have to go and meet it there. The second thing that I want to really point out is that it's okay to make mistakes. You're going to make mistakes. You're expected to. You are going to have times where you cannot keep up pace with the rest of the crew. Unless you're not the only apprentice, then you should be trying to catch up. However, don't expect to. It's really one of those things where you want to try, you want to give it your effort. However, when you get stuck, don't be so frustrated that you just shut down. You have to just keep moving forward. There's going to be days where you are like, man, I'm embarrassed because I know I should do this. It seems so easy. Why am I having trouble with this? But put in the time, put in the effort, and grow. And then the next time, after you obtain that skill, you're able to just move forward and continue on with it, and you don't have to worry about it. However, at the beginning, there are going to be so many things that you want to do that you can't really do because you're not that skilled in that area yet. So just be prepared, be ready and kind of take whatever comes at you and be able to make mistakes. When you finally are on your own in an area of a building and you mess something up or you don't know how to do something, go ask for help. Your journeymen are going to love that. They want you to ask because at the end of the day, it's about money. And so when you do that, you really need to be able to ask for help and not mess something up and leave something undone. That is much, much worse. The characteristic that will allow you to be out on your own, looking and doing stuff sooner, is being able to go get help when you need it, calling somebody when you need it, going to find somebody when you need it, asking how to do things, because there is a certain point where certain things you just can't figure out on your own. You need to ask, especially because the person running the job has a specific vision. They see it in a certain way. And if you do it a way that maybe differs from theirs a little bit, sometimes that leads to frustration. However, when you keep the vision of the person who's doing it, they'll be much happier, they'll be much more pleased with you, and they'll teach you what they were looking at when they saw that in the first place. The third thing, number 2, yes, it is okay to ask questions, but number 3, jobs are about making money. Yes, you're an apprentice. Yes, you want to learn and you want to be able to ask questions. However, there is a difference between trying to learn and trying to stall so you don't have to do as much work. Now, there are times where you are able to take in information and there are times where you are not. When you're on a weekend shutdown, it's not the time for you to be asking questions. On one of the jobs that I was on, somebody cut through a concrete bank and we had to they cut through some wires, so we had to go re-pull them. It was crazy. We worked like 17 hours that day. It was so miserable. That was not the time for me to be sitting around asking questions, okay? I did learn a lot. I watched, but I was a doer that day. I was not just picking up information because of the amount of workload and also just the intensity of the work. It was a Saturday. Everybody wanted to go home, and it was incredibly long. Now, that being said, it's not super common for that to happen. However, when those things happen, it's a day for you to just shut up, ask whatever you need to ask in order to do what you're doing. You know, you're traditionally not the one who's doing the important work there, and it's not a time for teaching. Just sit back, do it, and make sure that your journeymen are able to, they don't have to worry about you. The less they have to worry about you, the more likely you are to be able to go out on your own sooner, to get a raise, to do all those things. And the more that you're doing those things and the more you're helping out your journeymen, the more likely that the good journeymen are, because traditionally they have the ability to kind of pick what apprentice they want to go with them sometimes if you're available. And the good journeymen, because those are the ones who do well, so they're the ones who have more say on getting to pick their apprentice, they'll pick you, and then you'll get to go learn with the good journeyman. That's how I ended up learning with the best journeyman at our company. I did everything I could for him. I worked super hard in order for the jobs to make money. As much as you need to learn, you have to remember that jobs are to make money. And the people that are taking care of you, all of your project managers, your employers, the journeyman, they have to look at the numbers and see how much money they're making. And so if you do well and the jobs that you work on end up making money, they'll see that and they'll be like, okay, this is somebody we want to promote. This is somebody we want to look at. They're being productive. They're learning, yes, but they're being productive and they're adding value to our company. And it's like those things where if you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. And making money is the name of the game. Being profitable is so big. Those are the 3 things that I wish I knew starting out as an apprentice electrician. That would have helped me tremendously if I had known that from day one. Now, if you are wondering just how I got into the trades, I will link a video up here in the corner because I just talked about it in my last video. So go ahead and check that out. I'll see you guys on the next one.